everybody, it's Sharon here. Welcome back to my channel for those who are returning, and welcome to any new subscribers that may be visiting for the first time. So I'm continuing my work on my Junk with Steph design team project for the months of November and December, using some of her digital kits from her Etsy shop. And I'm just continuing to work on the ephemera for my ephemera stash, and I'm going back to using some glue book pages. So I have these here, they've been folded in half. I use or tend to use a Reader's Digest as my glue book, and so it is just a Reader's Digest page folded in half. Now, first of all, I want to ask, how are you all? I hope you're all fabulous. I'm excited to get started. I've had a couple of ideas of things that I want to do, and I'm trying to decide which idea I want to play with first. So I've got all of my papers here. I'll show you my pile. So all of my papers, I've got my scraps on top. Some of them have made it to the plastic bag and some haven't. Yes, I'm dobbing myself in. And my full sheets underneath. They're all of the papers that I've been working with for this major design team project. And I'm thinking today I'd like to use some of the scraps, and I'm steering towards the more decorative papers. And I'm kind of thinking, seems like I'm making a decision as I'm talking to you, thanks for that. I'm kind of thinking I might like to use my more decorative papers. I would prefer larger pieces though. Just looking to see what I have. Oh, I have these here, they're fun. I think that may be all for the larger pieces in the decorative. When I say decorative, I'm talking about the collage kits that I'm working, as opposed to more backing papers. Okay, just getting myself situated. So I would prefer papers that cover the whole of the journal card if I have them, or pocket. I'm using these as pockets. Okay, so I don't know if that will be too... Actually, that kind of may not work for what I have in mind, mostly because I'm covering a lot of it up. So I don't really want to cut the fairy's wing either. Maybe I need to... See, that would work perfectly. And that would work. And I don't know if that one is big enough. I don't think it is. So I'm 2 at the moment. I have 2 covered out of 6. Oh, that could be fun. As could that. They're not the more decorative papers, but they still have a nice pattern, and that will work. It doesn't necessarily have an orientation, which also works well. Love that. Can't say no. Oh, they could work actually. Okay. So we have a couple of the more decorative and a couple of the more backing type papers, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Love that. Okay. So I'm just going to get to tearing and gluing. Like I said, I'm just using the whole. Now, I might just glue the glue page on and cut them out, I'm thinking, or tear them out. So yes, we've hit our warmer spell here. It's quite warm here now, which isn't my favorite time of year, I must say. I love summer. I love the warmer weather and the, you know, it's barbecue season, and spending time outdoors and beautiful gardens and all of that. But the heat, I'm not such a fan of. Okay, I've been really busy fussy cutting. I didn't do as much as I hoped, but I did do some. Just checking. I know I said this wasn't directional, but I'm just checking where I want to place it. Yes, I have done some, so just trying to do a little bit each day. And I did a little bit more organising. I really want to say I feel like I'm finding my groove, but I'm not sure. It might be too early to say that. I do have a bit of a curveball coming, so we'll see how that pans out. Okay, so I'm just going to set that aside to dry. So turning that over. And I will mention before I forget my design team project for JunkWithSteph. I am working on creating mass-made ephemera for my ephemera stash. I haven't really had much of an ephemera stash. I've had ephemera stashed away, but I wouldn't necessarily call it an ephemera stash as such. And so that is what I've decided to do for my design team project, and I'm having so much fun with it. I am loving it. I'm loving how it's all coming together. And I mentioned when I first started this project, my idea was to make ephemera that would, I think I've got plenty of glue on there. It's drying really quickly, I've noticed. Probably something to do with the heat here at the moment. I wanted to use several kits and make ephemera that was cohesive enough to be put into a journal together. So my aim is to make more than one journal, and I would like to be able to pull from my ephemera stash to fill the page. I'm not showing you yet. To be able to fill the pages of the journal with ephemera and have it all look like it belongs in that journal together, rather than having, you know, really unusual themes or really bright colors that clash or whatever. I want it to gel cohesively. So that's what we're working on, and I am so enjoying it. I still have my little basket on my table, and it's all looking beautiful. I was looking at my my Instagram feed earlier today, and I was thinking about how, when looking on my Instagram feed and just seeing all of the things that I've created for my ephemera stash since starting this design team project, I can see how it's all working together. I don't know whether you've looked or noticed or thought about it, but if you go to my Instagram and look at my last few posts, maybe you'll see what I mean. Maybe you'll see my vision. Okay, no peeking. I'm not even peeking yet. Are you keeping tabs on where I'm gluing it? Onto which part of the page I'm gluing it to? So far little pieces, so you know, I don't have too many choices there, but these bigger pieces, indeed I do. So yes, it was fun to look at my Instagram feed and see how it was all looking together. I really enjoyed that. It was a little bit of a moment for me. And like I mentioned, I do have a busy time coming up, so my posts may not be quite as regular. There will still be videos, but perhaps a little more spread out, just for possibly a few days, maybe a week, I'm thinking. See how I go. But I won't be leaving you. I'll still be here. I just have a lot to take care of, so there will be, definitely will be videos, just not, I've been trying to post every day. I don't know that I will have time to be able to do every day. It may be every other day or something like that. I'm doing the best I can. Okay. Now I'm getting excited. Oops, I'm getting excited to turn these over and see how they look. And I'm thinking I won't do that until I've cut them out. We can check them out together. And in my mind, I just went, so that's 6 glue book pages I've used, and I've only created 1. So I'm pretty happy with those odds. I really need to get my scrapbook paper, my glue book paper. Did I just say scrapbook? I've used 6 glue book pages and only created 1. So I'm excited to try and get that little drawer down in size and number. I did just look at some other scraps on my desk a moment ago and I was like, oh, I need to come up with ways to use that. So I had a little moment just before I turned the camera on where I went, oh, that could be fun. So I'm setting that aside in my brain trust, hoping I remember. It's not always a given that I will. Setting that aside in my brain trust and hoping that I remember for a future video. Okay, so I have all of our papers here and I am going to, actually, can I tear them? I would prefer the torn look. I do like a torn look. Well, so far so good. Sometimes I do this and the torn edge is so far away from the edge of my paper, you don't get to look yet. Neither do I. Okay. That's why sometimes I steer towards the scissors, because I tear and then I end up cutting anyway. I may have to cut one side of this one. I didn't get quite close enough to the edge, I've just noticed. See, like that. It's kind of not... Oh, it'll be fine. Once I ink it, I'm sure. Surely it will be fine. Okay. So 2... Are you trying to look through the paper? Stop cheating. And I'm going to cut that edge again. Trying to do this without you being able to see, or me. I'm trying not to look too, which is really difficult when I'm the one crafting, but trying to do it without actually... It's natural instinct, isn't it, to try and take a quick sneak peek at what is happening. So even I am trying not to look, so it's a surprise when I've finished. hold it closer. Oop, wrong pile. Oh, last one. Oh, a sneak peek then, sorry. My bad. My papers that I have covered and my spare glue book pages kind of got mixed up. Okay, who's ready for the big reveal? Wish I could do a drum roll. Love it. So pretty. I'm hoping I can fit them all on here. Oh my gosh. Fun. Okay, so I want a little bit of inking around each one. Oh, who am I kidding? A whole lot of inking. I love the ink. Love them. And I love that we're using some of our scraps rather than diving into the new papers at this stage. I mean, seriously, you saw the papers that I have and you know the papers well. I'm assuming, unless you knew, you may not know, but if you've been watching these pieces of ephemera come together, you know that we've used quite a few pieces of different paper so far from our kits. And I don't feel like I'm overwhelmed with scraps at this stage, which is kind of my aim. I don't want to become overwhelmed with the amount of scraps I have. Okay, so I will be sewing around these. Just in case you were wondering. Okay. Oops, what am I doing? Okay, so I have my little bag of some of the fussy cutting I did last night, and this is the Adds with Age kit from JunkWithSteph. And I wanted to have a little play with some of the pieces that I've fussy cut out of this kit so far. That one's too big. Just pulling out what I have that I think might work, which is probably most of it, but not quite all of it. A couple of bigger pieces there. Okay, so kind of like that. That just jumped right out at me. Ancient and Honourable Order of Squirrels. I love that. I love that on there. That's a possibility, but I'm not 100% sure. Kind of like the way that it's like a, almost like a purple is picking up on a purpley colour in that pattern. Well, that's kind of fun on there. Or do I prefer it down here? I think I prefer it down there. That was unexpected. What else do I have? That's rather pretty. No. I think I like that. I'm not sure if that one's too plain with a plain background. No. Ah. Well, isn't that perfection? I love them. That's kind of fun too. I think that stands out more. I think I'm going to go with those. I'm not sure about the word beer. I don't know if I want that there, so I'll have a think about that one and whether I want to pop something over it. Okay, so I'm inking around each of those. Seriously, I get so excited when I make new pieces of any kind of ephemera. Just seeing how things come together and how gorgeous they look, I love it. Love it so much. So I'm trying to decide between another focal point, or do I want a bit of fabric underneath? I feel like maybe the plainer backgrounds could use the fabric, or maybe even just some cheesecloth. Let me see. So I have a little bit of fabric and I have a little bit of cheesecloth here. I might try both. So, where did I put my scissors? So this is a more solid, like a linen fabric. Fingers are sticky already. And I'm kind of feeling like, because this background isn't overly patterned, basically I don't feel as guilty covering it over. And yes, guilt, I feel guilty, often feel guilty when I have a beautiful background and I cover it. See, I really just love that by itself. Okay, so perhaps I might like some fabric on there. Didn't think I cut it far enough. Okay, I think I need to cut it down a bit more. That's a really nice edge on that side, so I'm going to cut this part here. And just trimming that. Okay. Love those. Love, love, love. I don't know whether I'm happy with them as is or if I want to add something else, but I'm going to continue doing these for now. So these two here, I don't know if I want cheesecloth. I'm kind of feeling like maybe, so I have the Painting the Roses red kit that I've been fussy cutting, and I'd like to try, I haven't done a whole lot out of this kit, but I'm wondering, oh, see, that's kind of pretty, isn't it? Or do I want a softer pink? I think the red stood out more. He's a bit too busy. Too big. Oh, I like that one. Okay, so is there one for this? I like that. Or do I want the itty bitties? That's it for that one. Oops. Okay, I'm going to ink those and have a little think. Actually, I'm wondering if I want just a bit of cheesecloth behind the focal points rather than my larger images. I'm thinking that could be the way to go. And then just sewing around the outside. So this one has quite a bit of inking because there's lots of outlines. Don't think that's too bad. Oops, wrong side. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe the tea stain cheesecloth. When I take all my stringy bits off. Okay. A little bit too much. I can't see the little chappy on the label. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down. I'm just going to use the art glitter glue. And I'm thinking I may duck over to the sewing machine and sew around this before I glue the focal point on. Okay, so I have that down. I'm just going to pop over to the sewing machine and I'm thinking a zigzag around the outside, so I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so all sewn around. I didn't go really close to the edge with this one because there was such a big border all the way around. I've kind of taken it in a little bit just for something a little different. And I'm going to pop these over the top. So I'm thinking I might use my fabric glue. And just a little bit over the stitches. And where did I put my card? And just a fraction more up here. Oh, didn't go quite as far as I thought I had. Okay. And then I'll see if I can do this flower with the fabric glue because I'm popping it over the cheesecloth. I might just see if I can get, I've got a nasty old glue goober. Just kind of makes the glue bottle really sticky. if it stays there. The glue seems to attract to the glue rather than to the paper. Okay. I must say the nozzle on this icing bottle does make it much easier to use fabric glue on more detailed items. Probably would have been easier if I'd have put it on my glue book to do this, but we're not doing too bad, I don't think. Okay. And I'm going to burnish from the back. I love it. I'm wondering if we want, where did I see that? So I have these labels here. I'm wondering, these are word labels from JunkWithSteph, which I haven't fussy cut yet, but I really like Love This Life. So I'm just going to, oh, wrong one. Whoops. You know this isn't going to be perfect fussy cutting when I'm doing it on camera, don't you? Okay. I thought I would like that on there, but I don't. No, it's not working for me. Okay. So the other thing I was thinking of, here we go, was one of these. It's just a little bit too big. Okay, so I have two lots of number tabs. So these ones are Shabby Dabby Doodah. Yes, I think that's the winner. I like that. It could stay there, but you know, I'm allowed to change it up. Okay. So I'm just going to use my art glitter glue, and I haven't put the glue stopper back on my fabric glue. Okay. So that's one pocket done. Love it. Thinking I'm going to glue this straight down. Oh, I could use my glue stick for that. I've got bits everywhere, guys. trying to get my glue book. Piece of fluff on there. Oops. And I might use my arc glitter glue, and I think I'm just going to sew around this one and call it done. Yes, I am. I'm just going to sew around that, and I'm really happy with that. Now, you guys know me, and you know I stick to odd numbers, so 3 or 5. So for me, the 2 focal points plus the sewing is 3. And with this one, I have the backing image, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the sewing. Yes, I have been calculating as I go. I can't help myself. Okay. And so I'm going to do the same with these. I'm just going to glue down the fabric, and then I'm going to glue down the image and sew around the outside and call those done. And you need to remember it's okay not to overdo things sometimes. You've got to remember that these pockets are going to have tags inside them as well that are going to be decorated. So sometimes having something a little bit more, I was going to say plain, they're not really plain, they're just not as busy, is perfectly okay. And I love working with the balance of that when I'm putting a journal together. I may even sew, actually I may sew around the image and around the card itself with a straight stitch. I'm thinking that might be really pretty. And it's amazing what a difference just doing that extra row of stitching can make. And yes, the stitching will come through the pocket, but that's okay because it's a pocket. You won't see the back. Okay, love that. And I'm going to do this one the same, except my fabric is up the wrong way. So I've gone quiet because hubby gave me a new supply to try in my craft room this morning, and I'm really excited to play, but I can't do it right now. So I'm just like, but I want to. I need to wash it first. I'm hoping I can do that tomorrow, but then with my busy week coming up, I'm not sure when I will have a chance to actually play with it, which is kind of leaving me a little bit sad and a little bit excited all at the same time. Glue on my finger, and every now and then I touch what I'm gluing down with a gluey finger and it sticks. I need to stop doing that. Okay, so I'm thinking I'll do the same. I'm thinking I'll sew around the outside and then sew around the image itself. Beautiful. Okay, so what do I want to do with these two? I feel like this one needs a little bit of lace. It's very feminine and very delicate. And I do just have this curtain lace here, which I really love. You know, it's a go-to for me. So I'm thinking I might like that underneath. Where are my scissors? And I don't want it to peek through a lot. Oops. Just a hint. Helps if you cut straight, Sharon. Probably should have used my bigger scissors. Oh, I don't think I did too bad. I think I'm going to call that done. Do the same, glue those down, sew around the outside and the image itself. Just making sure that that's roughly centered. Hoping that's about right. A little bit more down there. I think I love it. Well, that just reminded me of a song. Okay. Oh, so fun. Okay, so that's that one, and then this one here, I'm steering towards some tea stained cheesecloth for it. Okay. What can I do to make this easier for myself? I'm being really awkward when I use this cheesecloth. Okay, let's take the big scissors, and I know it's not even, and that's okay. I'm just going to cut off this section right here. So that can go back in my scrap bin. And then this might be a little bit more user-friendly to unwrap. And there's a grungy little spot there that I'm not particularly keen on using for this particular project. So just taking that away. Just so that you know, I now have a song on repeat in my head. I can't shake it. And it's not letting me think about anything else. So I'm not talking to you because I'm just having my own little disco here. Okay. Oh, see, that's just really fun. I think I want to cut that down just a fraction in height. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So using my fabric glue, which I forgot to put the lid on. Oops, wrong card. Thought that was my little gift card then. Okay, and then this side. That's what I get for not looking properly. It was a glance out of the corner of my eye look. Apparently I can't trust that corner. Oh golly. Okay. And my image. Love it. Don't know if I want a little piece of lace or something across the top of that one. And I thought I saw a piece of lace in these scraps. Maybe not. Bear with me. Just bear with me. Okay. No, too yellow. Okay, I'm going to my Old Faithful. So that, or actually, whoops, caught my thread. Wondering about this. Well, that's kind of a little bit fun. And I haven't used this for a while. Oh, I really like that. So this is just a burlap trim. I'm loving that. That's exactly what it needed. It's a Portercraft burlap trim. I'm not 100% sure where I purchased that from, I'm sorry. But I believe that Portercraft items are fairly readily available here in Australia in most craft shops. I know I've seen Portercraft items in bargain buys, and some of the smaller crafting supply stores that I've been to seem to have their products in there as well. I'm using the wrong glue. What am I doing? I should be using the fabric glue because I feel it will be a better adherence. This particular burlap trim is quite thin compared to a lot that I have, which is one of the reasons I really love it. It's not super bulky on the page. Whoops. Kind of misjudged that, didn't I? Okay. It has a mind of its own. Oh my goodness, the struggle is real. Just wondering how close to the top I want that about there. Just trimming the top. So there's a little bit of bulk there, but it's not excessive. Yes, I love that. Okay, much happier with that now I've put that on there. Okay, so I'm going to sew around those. I'm going to sew around this one too. I may just use a straight stitch, I'm thinking. And I will pop back and show you how they've finished. I won't be long, everybody. Okay, so I'm back again. I finished sewing around all of our pockets and I love the way they've turned out. Some of them are a little bit more detailed than others, but I think they're all gorgeous. So that's the first one. Number 2. Number 3. Love it. And the last. Okay, so that's how they look all together, and I really love them. As I said, we've ended up with some a little bit more plainer than others, and I'm totally okay with that. It gives me options when I'm putting them into journals to put a slightly less detailed tag or journaling card inside the more detailed pocket and vice versa. So I would like to say a huge thank you to Steph from JunkWithSteph for trusting me to showcase her beautiful digitals. I really love the way these ephemera pieces are coming together, and my ephemera stash is looking so pretty right now. And I would like to thank you all for joining me while I am making this ephemera. Your support means everything. So please don't forget to like this video if you've liked what you've seen, and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss future videos, and always feel free to comment. I love to hear from you. I look forward to seeing you all soon, everybody. Please stay safe, stay inspired, and happy crafting. Bye for now.